Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Schaden and this is my ongoing series where I try to hotlap every street circuit in Forza Horizon 5. The target that we're looking for is a lap time that sets me into the top 1% on the leaderboard. And today we are driving the Colossus, which is one of the circuits, like the large ones, that you unlock when you've driven everything pretty much. So there are two of them. One is the Goliath and one is the Colossus. The Colossus is a bit more varied, I guess, than the Goliath, but you'll see. I have never actually driven this circuit before, which you're also gonna see very soon, I believe. It's been a while since I've recorded this footage, so I've forgotten most of it. I just know that in the beginning I struggled. But yeah, other than that, we now have a very long time to, well, I wanted to say enjoy, but we are restarting. Nevertheless, I did not stop to push less or anything. I just kept on pushing fully, and in my pursuit of pushing fully, I smacked the wall once again. But on the third attempt, and this time for real, we are going for a full lap, and I'll be very careful not to avoid this one. Now, what sets apart the Goliath from every other circuit in Forza is just its sheer length. Like, this is, I think, pretty much the longest circuit in the whole game. The Goliath spans the whole map, yes, but because most of it is just flat out, it is actually a few minutes faster than the Colossus here. But anyway, it starts off pretty nice on this long sandy beach straight, which is a part of the map that I very much enjoy. However, it throws you a curveball right here, because usually you would take the other side of that road, and then it takes you inwards, and I did not need to do this. But I did. I'm also commenting live, so if you're wondering why my mouth isn't moving in the bottom right corner, that is because that was shot from when the recording happened, and I did not check whether I was like covering up the tachometer or anything, so we're just gonna have to live with that. You'll have to trust me that this was a fast lap, probably. It's not the fastest ever, but it was pretty good. Now here we come to the roundabout that spelled out my doom last time around. I think this time that I know about it, I look very concentrated. Yep, I'm keeping it here, keeping it in third gear, I believe, and I'm ahead. Further ahead than I was last time, so I don't need to push as hard. Take a wide line in, make sure I'm very slow out, and just in general I was being very careful. Now the thing is, I'm being compared here to a time that was set by someone on my friends list, I believe. So this is not like a time that was just like randomly selected, you know. Usually the first time that you'll encounter is one that is pretty slow, to be completely honest. But this one had me pushing pretty hard. You can see that the other like dot on the minimap is still right on my tail, despite me like not going slowly at this at all. I felt like I was pushing, and that actually makes for a better lap, I think, because I could never relax, right? The thing in racing where it gets you is when you relax, you start to make mistakes. Like, you, despite being ahead, you always have to stay locked in at all times. Otherwise, at high speed, you'll outbrake yourself, you'll take a corner weirdly, and then you're off. And in time trialing, the costs of going off are way higher than in just normal racing, because usually, like, touching the wall or anything, or just going off, it doesn't do anything. Here, if I touch a wall, like, at some point later in the lap, right? Let's say we've done 80% of the lap already, and I touch a wall, that voids the entire lap, and voids my attempt. So we haven't even done a quarter yet, and you can tell that I'm being very cautious. I'm braking a good 50 meters earlier than I would usually, probably, or like, I don't know. I'm just braking very early, just to be sure, taking a little speed and pushing where I can, because I still need to push, right? I still need a fast time. After all this effort in surviving the first few turns, I will not let myself get overtaken by the ghost. Like, I would rather avoid the lap than be slower than the competition. And that is why I'm still pushing. So the reasoning behind still pushing despite not seeing the ghost is that if I were to make a mistake at any point now, like one that doesn't immediately void the lap, is that I can still recover, still have time to make up for the lost time by just getting more time beforehand. And here we get through really smoothly. Like, the good thing about the Colossus is the beginning is very complicated, I guess, because it's high speed and tight corners, and then it relaxes a little bit though. We are now getting into the city section of the circuit, and I mean, you can see it, the walls are closing in left and right. It's not a pleasant feeling of going through there. I lost the rears a bit there, and let me tell you, whenever I lose traction during this one, I am shitting my pants actively and violently. Like, it's crazy how on edge this put me here as well. I had the tree on the left that unsettled me, and you can tell I was on edge. I think if the tree on the left wasn't there, I would have probably been a bit more at ease. And here I see a corner approaching. I go in very slowly, really make sure that these like 90-degree hair, just these 90-degree corners pose no threat to me. Just by slowing up, like, as much as I can, really, without completely compromising my lap time. This section felt familiar, because it is. We've driven this in this series before, and oh my god, I lost traction at that worst moment on my rears. I almost brushed it into the wall, which would have voided my lap. And you can tell, back on the minimap, the ghost is approaching. I've been very careful in this mid-section. It's not even mid-section, like the second quarter of the lap. So, I also got some like accolade that I've never done before. I guess I've never really driven this part of the map fast. So yeah, this was a pretty nice like exploration of the middle of the map. Like I said, the Colossus takes you through a quite windy path through the middle, whereas the Goliath would take you around the outside. Both has its beauty, but I personally like the Colossus a bit better just because it's more interesting to drive, because it actually has corners. Like, whoa. Corners in my Forza Horizon? Incredible. Yeah, these like cheeky 90-degree turns, which are very slow sometimes, especially on these like inland roads where they are not as wide as some others. It takes concentration, and yeah, they did put the walls literally everywhere, so you have to concentrate, like, you are forced to concentrate. So yeah. Still though, I did like this segment. It's, I don't know, it was just a, so of course it was pretty enjoyable to drive. And I guess if you dare to push it a bit more than me, you live on the edge, but you can also gain a lot of time. Now we get into a section that I saw on the minimap. I like these like left-right combinations, up and down mountains. For me, this is just like enjoyable and exciting to drive. Especially, yeah, the wall on the inside, like, whoop, that is mean. No hint of a smile though, I was fully concentrated, I was sending it. And yeah, honestly, I've been taking it very slow. For good reason. We've gone through 50% of the lap already, and except for a few moments that I really didn't need, it was fine. This wall on the left side was very close for comfort, I gotta say. Like, it was a bit needless, and once again, I'm being super cautious on the entry. Like the last thing I want to do is just brake too late, be silly, and go straight into the wall. Despite having all the options of not doing that, you don't lose as much time into a corner as you do like when getting out of it. So really like braking a teeny bit earlier and just giving up a tenth is, in this case, in this scenario, this specific parameter set, more important than like compromising the safety of the lap. And here we get into the jungle section of the map, which I would like just the dense forest and like more... I guess it has a few more dirt tracks, which are also really nice. I'm thinking of like doing a second series where I go through all the rally circuits, which are also very exciting. I really like the rally circuits in Forza Horizon 5. These street circuits are fine. They were less than I thought, actually. Surprisingly, like I've recorded all the circuits that are in the game already. Actually, quite a while ago. I just never got around to like comment and edit. So yeah, I think it'll be better though, since I don't know what's coming. I forget. Just pretty nice. I don't actually remember this pyramid being there or like ever driving past, so this was a nice bit as well. In general, like this part of the whole section, it was forgettable, I think, because I literally forgot about it. And my driving is not exciting. I'm super defensive. Like, yes, I still use all of the available track, and holy cow, the back stepping out on this car scares me. It's not as bad as on other cars, which is also why I've taken this car for this particular challenge. Like, this car is super tame. It behaves nicely, and it doesn't do anything stupid when you lose traction. Some cars spin, some cars like go straight ahead. This one just, when it loses traction, it just doesn't go as well how you want it to anymore. But it doesn't really spin out on you, it doesn't just go straight ahead, it still retains a bit of steering. It's an okay car. Like, not the fastest, not the best, but by all means, like, just good all around. Which in Forza Horizon 5 is not always the best option, because most tracks just require an insane amount of power or really good handling, and this one's just somewhere in the middle, leaning towards handling, so less suited to most tracks than other cars, but it's what I enjoy driving, so that's what we're going with. And we've made it through pretty much all of the lap. I was looking at the timer, I believe, at this moment, and I saw that we were at 12 minutes, and we had a time of 15 minutes and 52 seconds to beat. Like, preferably I would have liked to beat it by a minute, like, to like set a low 15 minutes or even below, but I kind of realize at this point, seeing that we only had, like, I don't know, 3 minutes left, that I am probably not gonna make it in the time that I wanted, and it's gonna be a closer one than I anticipated. And we are somewhere, I think around the Emerald Circuit somewhere. Yeah. I feel like at this point that my concentration might be going. Oop. Yep. There was the lapse of concentration. That woke me right up. Like right now. I'm sure it did the same with me back then. This is a deceiving bit of track because you see it's very high speed and the corners are super simple, and whoa, just like I guess you maybe know if you've ever been to America, and I have only been like once or twice. The highways there are just like the interstates. Those are just like really long stretches of going straight ahead, and it gets super boring super easily. And just like here, if you lose concentration, which is quite easy to do when it just goes straight ahead, yeah, you make mistakes and accidents happen. So really, now that we've arrived at like 90% progress, the last thing I want to do is bin it. And yeah, you can tell I'm lifting and coasting. So what you'd usually do when you enter a corner is brake really hard, feather off the brake, feather on the throttle immediately. The throttle immediately, and just like send it, right? And here I'm going onto the brake, not too hard so I don't lock up my tires. Come off the brake, very like gently, and then let it roll, let the car rotate, and then just stamp on the gas once I'm sure I'll make it out of the corner. Because this car on power tends to understeer instead of oversteering, which, I mean, both would be bad, because oversteering would just be a loss of control and that would be instant at the wall, and understeering is preferable in this particular case, because the way to battle it is just to let go of gas, and that is way easier than trying to catch a slide with a sliding rear. But yeah, it's not fast, I can tell you that much. Okay, and here we go. 4% to go. Just concentration all around, please now. Oh wait, the Colossus is not a circuit, I just realized. Ooh. It would be silly to mess up now. I really thought the Colossus would be a circuit. Whoops. I guess not. So we have all the circuits in Forza Horizon. Oh my god. Yeah, did you see my expression there? I did not. That would have been really sad. It's super on brand to lose it at the last damn corner after 15.5 minutes of driving. And I did crash into the barrier, but there is one little detail that you need to know about Forza Horizon 5, and that is, if you tap the obstacle lightly enough, there is a chance to not void your lap, and I just did that, and god damn it, am I glad I managed to not bin it completely. Holy shit, okay. But let's see if this was enough to set us into the top 1% on the leaderboard. And there we go, you can just about barely see it. I managed to post a time in the top 1. I wish I knew which place I was. Oh, nope, it said it right there. I'm sure I'm zooming in on it. But yeah, we managed to get it onto like, I think 13,000th somewhere. Which is, honestly, that is good enough for me. I don't think I will try this again. Because goddamn, that last corner took 20 years off my final lifespan. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, and I hope you did, I hope I will see you in the next one again. And until then, I hope you have a very, very wonderful time. That's gonna be it from my side. Goodbye.